just finished the London Marathon and you're feeling a little bit lost, this video is going to help you get back on track, know where you're going, and just feel like you've got some direction again. This came from working with a client this week. She basically was in exactly the same position, so we used this framework to get her back on track so she didn't feel lost, and I thought it would help you. So one, it's natural to feel like this after you've set a big goal if you haven't got this in place. But two, if you do this, you'll never feel like this again. So there's 3 ways of doing it, or you can combine them all together. I like combining them all together to get the full power of it. However, you can do them separately, it's completely up to you. So it is a goal setting process, and because we haven't got anything to go towards now, this is why we feel lost and we feel just aimless, because we've been working for this for so long and now we're just like, what am I doing? So obviously that's the explanation for why you feel like this, but to stop feeling like this, 1, I'll stop waffling, and 2, I'll get on with telling you how to do it. So the first way out of this 3-step process is a question that I learned from Dan Sullivan, but the way you do it, it will help open up your brain. So if we were to sit down in 3 years, we were going to have a coffee and you wouldn't shut up, you were literally grinning from ear to ear, what has to have happened in the last 3 years, personally, physically and professionally, for you to be happy with your progress? What you're going to do from that is journal on it, but it's called a hot pen technique. So you write for 20 minutes. You're not allowed to stop. You can't think, you can't stop and think, you have to keep writing. Your hand will hurt if you haven't wrote for that long in a long time. But what that does, from just continually writing, you'll write shit, but as you keep going, you'll start exploring different parts of your brain and you'll start actually thinking about what's possible. With this 3-year time frame, we think bigger. If it was 6 months or a year, we think quite small, but when it's 3 years, we think more's possible. So you'll keep writing and writing and writing, and some of it will be absolutely bizarre, but quite a lot of it will be deep into actually what you want. When you've gotten that, so there's 3 steps to do this. That's one part. You could do that on its own. The next part is we're going to write 3 lists. So the first list is going to be a want list, or you could call it experiences, just things you want to do. But these are wants, not needs. So there's a difference between needs and wants. Need to pay my tax, need to pay for my gas bill. It doesn't fucking excite me at all in the slightest. However, something I want, don't have a reason for it, I just want it, I'm going to go out my way to get it, and I'll be inspired to do it. You don't have to have any reason for it. It could be, I don't know, you want yellow shoes, or you want to, I don't know, go to every single country in the world for absolutely no reason. Whatever that is, you don't need to have a reason for it, but it's a want goal. It could be materialistic, or it can be anything. It could be experiences. This want list, I would recommend writing out 100. So 100 things, the first third are easy, the last third really hard. So this whole process, you could just leave it just sort of over the next couple of weeks and just start adding to this list. You've got things from that question that you can start automatically adding into that. But once you've created that list, it's literally just a massive just bucket list of things. So you could either do it that way and just set out 100 things, which literally you can just start ticking off, or you can do it from this phase of it, which is the first phase is the question, second phase is the 100 want list, and then the third phase is you combine it all together into 3 lists. So if you have got 100, you've now looked at that as a column of what experiences do I want to have. Okay, so it's going to be 3 questions. If you've wrote 100, then you've got 100 for the next, which is how do I need to grow to hit those experiences. So for example, I've got a client who wants to speak his vowels in Italian. He doesn't know Italian, so he has to grow to get that goal and learn Italian to start off with. If you've got you want to have 3 houses or whatever, you need to be able to obviously grow the skills to have 3 houses. However you're going to do that, if you're going to get the money together for that self, or you're going to find other methods to have ownership of those houses and not have the finances for them, whatever that looks like. You've got to grow into those things. Being a dad, being whatever that is, like, you've got to grow to be that person, to have all those things. If you've done that question, the 3-year question, those will be parts of it. If you've done the 100 once, those will be parts of it, and you'll have a massive long list. Then you'll have that growth list. If you've done 100, you're now going to have 100 things to grow to. Then we want to be happy, I'm guessing. So hack to happiness is, how can we contribute to others? How can we impact others? So a last list would be, how can I impact those around me? How can I contribute to others? That could be, doesn't have to be charitable, it could be how you want to enhance your mood or something, so you don't want to be reactive around the people that you care about. Or for example, one of my goals is to speak in a prison, so that's like a contribution and impact goal. It could be sharing your wealth of knowledge, it could be whatever that looks like, because that will be a hack to happiness. If we're growing and we're contributing to others, that's generally going to make someone more fulfilled. So there is a reason to this. We're not just got random lists. But once you've done that, you've got 300 things to basically work towards. From that, you're then going to split them up. So say you've got 3 years goals or bigger goals, you do a third of the way there would be 12 months time. So if you've got this long list and some of the things are going to take you 3 years to get here, what would be a third of the way there? That's going to be what life will look like, or what you're working towards in a year. Some of these goals you could do tomorrow. You're going to put that down into quarters. So for example, if you've got a 12-year goal, which could be, if you haven't run the marathon already, it could be by the end of this year you want to run the marathon, for example. And then a third of the way there, a quarter of the way there would be, I don't know, a 10k, or by halfway through the year, then that would be a half marathon. So each quarter you're going to set goals which will either be towards your big 3-year goal, 1-year goal, or they could be whatever you want them to be. You're going to have a massive list now. So once you've done one goal, like the marathon, you've got so many other things that you're working towards. If you want to split them up, a way of how I do it and how my coach has basically shown me a better way, I feel, to do it, so you're a bit more all round, is like, one, you have one main focus. So usually it's probably going to be around some sort of finance goal, because everything will just sort of come off the back of that. But then you're going to split up into 5 areas. So it's going to be family and relationships, it's going to be health and fitness, it's going to be finance, it's going to be skill set and mindset, and then it's going to be fun. When you've got all those things, they're going to come off of your experience bucket list, your want list or whatever. You're generally going to be fulfilled, but you've got all of these things to work towards. I would personally just have like one big quarter goal, so you're not completely scattered, and all the other things leverage off of that and do something towards that. But that's entirely up to you. But if you're stuck, you've got 3 ways basically you could do that. So you could either journal on that question for 20 minutes and just do the hot pen technique and have that on its own. You could do the 100 want list, you could just do that on its own. Or you could do the 3 most important questions, which is, what experiences do I want to have, how do I want to grow, or how do I need to grow, and how do I want to contribute to those around us. Split it down into quarters, next week, days, whatever. Like, you're going to literally have like a to-do list every single week to work towards, because you're working towards your goals, or you can combine them all 3 together. So if you're lost, do that. It massively helped my client this week.